Welcome to Title Talk, a podcast for real estate investors where we cover tips, tricks, and trends in the industry.
This podcast is all about providing valuable insights to help you maximize your investment opportunities.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started, Title Talk is the place to stay in the know and get inspired.
So grab your headphones, tune in, and let's talk title.
Hey.
Let's talk title.
Oh, there she is.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Amazing.
How's Canada?
It's it's good, eh?
How's the food, eh?
The food is incredible. There's nothing better than Canadian food. I'm sorry to say, but America does not even come close.
What's your favorite food in Canada?
My favorite food in Canada?
Yeah.
I like
called something funny.
Yeah.
I like poutine.
Yeah, what's the other name? There's another weird name.
I like donair.
Donair. Yeah, donair is a weird name.
I like donairs. I like
All right.
poutines.
Hi, Bobby.
Hey guys. So with these mics, put them in your lap and then have the mic as close to your.
Is Jack making it?
Yeah, I just saw him. We were at a house and he's on his way. The traffic was,
Terrible. I
Like-
had like truck fire, car fire.
I was just, I
Freeway
don't
was,
know what was
halfway
going on.
closed. Very
What are you
scary.
wearing, Rahima? Why do you look like a leopard?
I don't look like a leopard. I
Or
look like a
tiger.
Yeah,
Arr.
it's a tiger.
Arr.
I'm wearing a tiger.
Very
Grr.
cool. Very cool.
Cool, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like animal print.
I think that's definitely a good look.
Sorry.
It's a good look.
Are you making fun of me?
No, not at
Last
all.
time Jamil commented on something I was wearing, he told me that I look like Hillary Clinton.
Oh,
Rahima, you wear a pantsuit. You deserve that.
No, it's a pantsuit.
No.
What's wrong with a pantsuit? Pantsuits are wonderful, aren't they?
I think whatever
It's a
you
powerful
feel
thing.
good in,
Yeah.
is
That was
what-
that was a really diplomatic way to say
Yeah.
I fucking hate pantsuits. Right? Isn't that right, Dina? Because I never seen you in a pantsuit. Because you've got great legs.
I rarely
When
wear
you have
them.
great legs, nobody wears pants.
Well, I kind of got out of the habit of wearing the pants, especially because I had the brace on for so many months. Like, there's no pants that really work with the brace.
No.
No.
You have to do like a big balloon pant.
I also
Jamil,
wear pants.
I got to see you. Did I see you? I saw you yesterday and today, 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
And it's in exactly the same position as you were when I saw you yesterday, in that exact room.
This is the only place that I have a setup, so this makes
Ah.
sense. Yeah. Bobby and I were saying this is my Mormon set. I'm when I'm in Canada, I'm Mormon. See, this is where I pray and this is where I lay. Get it?
Oh, hilarious.
Oh, hilarious. That's a very sister reaction.
You're so
I'm just
funny.
talking smack because Jerry Norton's been talking some smack on the internet, and Pace been talking smack on the internet because we're gonna do a showdown. The three amigos are gonna do a deal off and see what happens.
What's a deal off?
Well, I voted for you today, by the way. On
Thank you.
you got my vote for who can do the most deals in a week.
Oh, where do I vote?
On his Instagram
Okay,
story.
I'm going to vote right now.
Hello, Jack.
Yeah.
Hi,
Welcome.
Jack. Come on in.
Hey, there he is.
I know it'll be my brother because I have known my brother my whole life, and there's nothing that my brother can't do.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
the only thing that I've ever beat him in is I got more numbers at a club. That's it. Otherwise, he wins everything. Right, Jamil?
Yep.
Well, I have
Jamil.
full faith in you.
Oh,
If
you have
put your mind to
48%, babe.
something.
You have 48%. Pace is at a partly 38, and Jerry Norton's barely scraping it at 14.
Yeah, that's because it's my Instagram. You should have seen my poor performance on Paces yesterday. It was pretty embarrassing.
Oh, so you're all posting this on
Where's,
your
where's
individual
Mark?
stories for voting. We got to go
Where's
vote
Mark?
on paces for you too.
Decided to go to the
But guys, hi, good to see you all.
Hi.
Hey, Jack,
Hi, Jamil.
is this your first podcast?
It is.
Yay!
Welcome to your first podcast, and we have Bobby breaking the fourth wall here today because we have a special episode today, guys. We are as we let the cat Bobby let the cat out of the bag a little bit. We are
His face right now.
yeah. we're taking a hiatus on Title Talk. So this is a very special episode because we've got 4 of my favorite people that are sitting at one table right now. Unfortunately, I don't get to be there. We have, of course, the famous Hot Bobby over there, who has the reason why the podcast actually is even visible to you guys, because he does all the incredible things, sets it all up, makes it happen. Does the hard things that are just terrible, and not terrible for him because he understands wires and cameras and lighting and all the good stuff. But for a guy like me, very difficult. And we have incredible Dena over there, my beautiful title friend who has been doing business with me for close to a decade. Got my brilliant sister over there who completes everything that I put my stinking mind into mind to. And
I wouldn't have it any other way.
And Jack Leibert, who is really honestly only my friend because everything that I've told him I could do, Rahima actually completed. So, this is I want to just quickly highlight the reality of the power of a networking event and what can happen at it. So Jack and I meet at an networking event. I had a little trade booth set up there. It was before Keegley. It was before anything. It was when I used to own a brokerage. What was the name of the brokerage, Rahima? Do you remember?
No.
Nameless brokerage. Yeah, I was the owner of a brokerage, but not the broker. I was the owning partner. And we set up this little booth at a trade show, and Jack was there. It was like this, it was called Money Talks. It's like for people who listen to the radio, which obviously Jack does because he showed up there from a radio ad, and he walked up to me, and him and I strike up a conversation. And I don't know, we've been good friends now for 10 years. We've done, I don't know, maybe dozens, if not multiple dozens of deals together. Jack's made plenty of money with us. We've, one of the incredible things about this business is the relationships that you get to make in it, right? And so from Bobby, my relationship with Bobby in the world of being able to share the content that in my world, to Dena being able to make sure that my deals get done, to Rahima making sure that the things I say actually happen, to Jack being one of those people who believe in you. Relationships matter, guys. They absolutely matter. And I want to say one thing about Jack. When COVID happened, right? When COVID happened, we had a whole schwack of deals fall apart, right? Because people were running for the hills. I had a conversation with Jack. I called him and I'm like, Jack, I don't think it's what we think this is. I think that it's going to be right now is an opportunity. Everything's like super cheap. We're renegotiating with sellers at an incredible rate. Do you want to jump in? And he was like, yeah, I do. And so Jack ends up coming in and buying like multiple houses from me in a time where we actually really needed the business because, COVID's going on and like all of our deals are falling apart. One of the best things he did, because he got to take advantage of the huge upswings that happened through COVID. And it was, and it all happens through relationships, right? This and this is the value of doing good business, of being the kind of people who care about one another, right? Like we care deeply about Jack's success. Jack cares deeply about our success. Fidelity cares deeply about my success. I care deeply about Fidelity's success, and so on. And so it's just a really fun way to have this show, have its crest, I guess, its cresting moment tonight, because I've got 4 incredible friends that I get to share it with. So,
and plus we have a lot of fun together.
We sure do. We sure do.
And after last episode of Title Talk, I think we have a karaoke in the calendar.
Oh, we do, for sure. Jamil, I'm going to set you up for Rhythm of the Night by El DeBarge.
Wait. Jack's coming, right?
Yeah, Jack's coming.
I'll be there.
I invited Monique yesterday, too.
He's doing Christopher Cross.
Okay, cool. Well, I think this is we're really poised for having an interesting conversation today, because we've got again, Jack, a buyer, a legitimate buyer, guys. Like this guy has been involved in flips. He's in the middle of doing a co-living deal right now. We've had, of course, I think our batting average with him is very good, but even then, you're going to have some duds. We've had a few duds here and there. We've had some home runs. We've had some doubles. We've had some singles. We've had some triples. But we've had a lot of fun doing it. And I would love for the audience to hear from you, Jack, as to what your outlook is moving forward in the real estate market with the way things are going, and how what we're seeing right now in trends. But B, you're uniquely positioned in being in the world of HOA. And so if you would you introduce yourself to the audience who doesn't know you? Tell us, about your experience, what you've been doing, what your investments are, and what you feel is coming around the corner.
Sure. Jamil, thanks so much for the introduction. Well, I would say that real estate's been in my blood from the time I was maybe from the time I was about 22. And to comment on my sense today is that I don't think we could be in a better spot with interest rates falling, with, I think, more creative financing available. I just don't think we could be in a better place. You would agree with that, would you not?
I would absolutely agree, yeah.
But yeah, so my very first transaction, I think when I was 22, I was in Hawaii and bought a 2-bedroom condo, 750 square feet for $28,000.
Whoa.
And I went on Zillow a year ago and said, okay, what is this place worth now? And it was $525,000. So those are the kinds of times you say, gee, I wish I'd held on to that. But,
absolutely.
When you were talking about singles, doubles, and home runs, there's one grand slam that I remember, and I'm going to turn to Rahima because she'll remember that property.
Bathroom?
Yeah.
So we build a house together. We renovate a house. It is a 3-1.
3-1.
Right? 3-1. But it's Central Phoenix, and that's a normal.
I will
normal
never
house.
forget the house. I know the house. You put an orange
Sail in the front.
sail in the front for the carport. Is that the one?
I totally did that. Yep.
Well, let me interrupt because I was out of town when Rahima called me about that house. And you, Jamil, God love you, you got in your car and you drove the street and you took video and you basically said, Jack, you can't miss this one. So now you come back.
Amazing neighborhood in Central Phoenix, but it's a 3-1. So we renovated as a 3-1, but we're having a heck of a time trying to sell it. And then we get a buyer who says, I'm going to buy it, but I want you to put in a bathroom. So they put in their EM, but we want you to put in the bathroom before we close it. So we're like, ugh, okay, bathroom's going to cost us, what did it cost us? $7,500 to put in that bathroom?
Yeah.
$7,500. We put the bathroom in. Just before they're supposed to close, they cancel. They say, we don't like it. We don't want it.
Burgers.
And
Turkey
I
burgers.
called Jack and I said, I have the best news in the world. And he's like, really, what? And I said, the buyer is canceling. And I hear it like silence, crickets. And I go, Jack, do you understand what I said? He goes, how is that the best news in the world? And I said, because your house just went up $125,000 since we put in that extra bathroom and what's happening in the market right now. So pray to God that cancellation comes through and we can put this back on the market and sell it for way more money. And he's like, okay, cancellation came through. I'm like celebrating. I'm on the roof. I'm so happy. Within days, we get a full price offer and he makes an extra $125 from what he would have made.
That's amazing.
So
Can I ask a question? Like when you say you're having a heck of a time selling it, what does that mean? Like how long?
I
of a
think we were on
period?
the market. I mean, normally we were always on the market for less than 30 days.
Mhm.
So if I was on the market for 31 days, I started to be like,
not
what did
gonna
I do
sell,
wrong?
yeah,
I start
yeah.
second guessing myself.
Yeah.
So and Jack has like given me a lot of leeway. I've made orange kitchens in his houses and yellow kitchens in his houses and some crazy stuff I've done. But he's always like, okay, if you think it's gonna work, go
That's
ahead
fun.
and do it. And it usually works, right? I mean,
It always works.
we've had fun. We've had a lot of fun.
Nice.
So what
But
projects are you guys having
Jack,
fun
tell
on?
us about your experience in the world of HOAs, because it's you're unique in that what you do as a for a living, and I think there may be some people who have some questions about how to manage the ones that they're in and all of the things. So
Well, interestingly, what I found in the 20 plus years I've been in the HOA business is that, actually very few people ever pick up the phone and call our office and say, I'm about to purchase a home or a condo or whatever in an HOA, would you let your mother live there or something along those lines? No, I'm serious. To me, that's the best way to put it. And then some people are surprised once they've moved in about the restrictions that they now have to live with. And, some people, I think, would love to not live in an HOA, but also have the benefit that HOAs provide, which is, obviously a guarantee effectively that the person is not going to move in next to you and paint their house pink and green or some crazy thing like that.
Or run
Yeah,
a garage out
or-
of their auto body out of their garage.
Right,
Right.
right. So there's, I think, and I'm partial, that there's tremendous benefits with HOAs. And I always encourage people, if you're going to live in an HOA, get involved, volunteer some time on the board, and be part of the solution. And because the HOAs that have board members that really care, they really provide a benefit to the owners, no question about it. But it's a great business. It's a business that you don't get a whole lot of thanks for, but they definitely play I believe, a really good role. And I think that they help to maintain and grow values in neighborhoods, no question.
For sure. I would say the HOA is definitely the dentist of real estate. Right?
the dentist of real
Well,
estate. Yeah,
necessary,
you need them,
but
but you may kind of have a little bit of a they're hard. Well, because here's the reality, right? You and I, Rahima, we've had great HOAs that we've worked with and that had owned properties in, and we've had really hard ones, right? Like I remember we owned a building on 40th Street just off of McDowell in Phoenix, and the HOA was really good at collecting fines. Their entire bylaws and all of the rules were set up in order to create opportunities for them to fine us, right? For instance, one of the fines was if you had a small little barbecue on the outside of your property, they were going to fine you. If you had a broom outside of your property, they would fine you. If you, and no matter what it was, and they daily would walk around looking for ways to fine us, right? And so that I thought was a little oppressive and too much. I come to find out later that the owner of the HOA was actually the guy who owned the majority of the building and was really hoping to squeeze people out. We ultimately ended up selling to him. We tried not to sell to him because I was like, F that guy. And then when we put the properties on the market, he ended up using a proxy to come and buy them because he knew I wouldn't accept an offer from him. So he used somebody else to come in, write the offer, and then I ultimately found out it was him, and it was a big laugh, at the end of it, like, oh, we still ended up selling to the guy. So, those are the things. But there are a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about with HOAs that I think may be interesting conversations, with respect to affordable housing, right? So I understand the HOA's position with short-term rentals. In most HOAs positions to short-term rentals is treating homes like hotels isn't a good look for a community. You've got transients coming in, not transients, but you got people that are coming in and out that don't really care about the neighborhood. They'll throw big parties. They're going to disrupt the area. They're going to drive fast down the road, all the things. And so I can see how HOAs are, against having short-term rentals in their neighborhoods. And a piece of me wholeheartedly agrees. If for instance, my neighborhood, if I had an HOA in my neighborhood and they were voting on should we allow short-term rentals or not, I'd probably vote against it because of selfishness and wanting to make sure that my neighborhood remained a family neighborhood with just, families living there, right? On the other hand, the concept or the conversation about affordable housing, which we've been having a lot of lately, and co-living, and the fact that we are in an affordable housing crisis. And I think that there's an opportunity for single family homes to be repositioned into affordable housing through the co-living model. And I don't know how HOAs would react to that. And I wanted to get your opinion, Jack. Do you think that there's any possibility in the future that the position of homeowner associations may change with respect to that to maybe allow for that kind of thing? Or do you think HOAs will still be a restricted property class in the co-living model?
Well, because so far, when you guys are on the hunt for these properties, we specifically look for non-HOA related
Right.
homes. So I love that question.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a tough sell, Jamil. And I think the idea now of avoiding them rather than trying to educate them is the way to go. I think that's going to be a really tough sell. So if you're asking me when that might happen, it's way in the future.
Do you see the possibility of a potential master plan community, not even a master plan community, but a small community that would potentially be all co-living, and there'd be a homeowners association within that helps govern the way that the homes are treated, the way that the occupants are looking at the living model? And could there be an opportunity there for maybe even a really, for instance, the little subdivision that I created over there off of 50th Street many years ago, but it was a small subdivision of 10 homes, and they had an HOA for that small subdivision of 10 homes. And if you had a 10-acre or 8-acre parcel of land that you were able to subdivide and create single family residences in, or whatever zoning would allow for that, but SFRs, let's just say, and then created single family homes, could there be an opportunity for an HOA to come in and govern that to a place or to a way that would attract people to come in and say, not only am I living in a co-living home, but there's an HOA here making sure that we don't got garbage all over the place, that people are parking in the way they should be parking and treating the home that they should be treating it. Do you think that there's an opportunity there?
No question about that. I think, and I think that is the way to do it, is to be part of the community from the inception,
Right.
rather than trying
So
to
ground
take
up.
one. Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like the build to rent, but affordable housing.
Right.
What if you take it one step further and you become the HOA of the house? Say you subdivide the house. So if there's 8 bedrooms in that house, each bedroom becomes its own
Right.
property.
Right. There would be an association of owners
Could
who
you,
each own.
do you see
a room.
do you see that happening?
Yeah, I do. I've already done some research on that, and it's definitely doable. And it would be the epitome of affordable housing.
Yeah. And if
I
we
don't
could
know.
figure out how to strata title a single family resident into its, obviously you've got the common areas of the kitchen and the, front and backyards and laundry and all those. But if the bedroom and the bathroom became a titled, like deeded owner, a deeded property that people could own, like a condo.
Right.
I think that offers an opportunity for people to invest in real estate in a smaller
Mhm.
portion. Like, how many people would love to own a bedroom, say, in a co-living home, as even an investment, where say they bought it for $80,000 to $100,000,
Mhm.
and that bedroom produced $1,000 to $1,500 a month in gross rents a month. I mean, that's the kind of numbers that you can't get even in a condo. You can't get that in a
No.
townhome. Like you're really getting some incredible ROI, and it allows for people to own a home or to own a piece of a home that may not have been able to do that. And it also allows for investors to get involved that may not have been able to invest. And so you open the door for investment, you open the door for ownership opportunities. And I think that it could really change the way that we're viewing housing in the foreseeable future.
You're absolutely right. I think it has tremendous appeal. Obviously, it's a price point that we haven't seen in years and years. So I think it's a very valid point.
Dena, what do you think the challenges are on the title side?
So I think the first challenge is the financing piece, right? So Rahim and I have actually talked about this particular thing, and I think the safest and easiest, clearest path would be seller financing to start, because I don't think there's a lot of lenders that really understand this concept yet, and it will take somebody proving that this model works on the lending side in order for things to really transpire on the title side, which I think the easiest path in would be seller financing.
Okay, so
I-
except for financing, do you think there'd be any issues with titling it 8 different ways?
I mean, I think that it's just something new, you know.
I'd love to hear from Pansy. If you would elaborate in the chat of what you're not sold on, and I completely respect the opinion. I think I'd love to hear the opposition to it. Pansy says, "I'm not sold on the idea of owning a room in a property," and I get that. I think, in fact, if you want to hop on, I just put a link in the chat there, Pansy. You can come in if you're comfortable with coming on and chatting with us. That could be fun. But I think I'd love to understand what some of the opposition would be to it. Maybe it's, what are the people going to be like? What I remember. I mean, I'm in a multifamily property when I'm in Canada, right? I have
no air
neighbors
conditioning.
with no air conditioning. I have neighbors here. I've got all kinds of rules. I'm subjected to and whatnot. And I actually like them. I like the fact that this place is well maintained. I like the fact that people are watching over the property, and that it's got all of the fixings of a really well maintained property. But for me, it's been a minute since I lived in a multifamily building, right? So I got to hear the person upstairs bouncing around at 4:00 in the morning. I get to hear the neighbors fight, next door. And that's a part of what it is to be in kind of a co-living environment, even if it's a house and you're just in your bedrooms. But I wonder what Pansy's thoughts are here, and what maybe she's feeling isn't the most appealing piece of it.
I would imagine it's something similar to like correct me if I'm wrong, but in general, like you'd rather do investing with single family homes over owning a condo or a townhome. So like that same kind of built-in bias would be the reason not to own a room within a building. I don't know why. Do you guys know why like people prefer single family over like a condo?
I mean, if you've got the money, people would prefer a proper, like a single family residence over just a portion of it. But now you're looking at an entry of $400,000 to $500,000 for one.
Yeah.
And there's no ROI on that because the rents are not going to pay your mortgage. You're always going to have to feed into that, or you're going to have to leave a lot of money in it for it to give you any sort of cash back.
Yeah.
This gives the idea of not only the person who's been renting to now finally own, but it also gives opportunities to people who probably not have an opportunity to invest and actually have something back from their investment.
From all the paying rent, right?
So I see what you're saying, but I'm not sure that you're even dealing with the same, everybody, the same people in that equation.
Well,
Hey,
and-
Pansy, how you doing?
Hey.
Hi, Jamil. Good to see you again.
Likewise. Great to see you.
We did meet a few times at your office,
Yes,
and then
I'm
again at community camp.
very familiar with you. Good to
Yeah,
see
and
you.
Dina too.
Thanks
Hi.
for joining us. Hi.
Yeah, sorry, I probably look like total crap. I've been sick, so
We
excuse
can't
me.
tell. You look fabulous.
Oh, thank you. You're good at stretching the truth, Jamil. But anyway, so yeah, me.
I don't know how to take that. Dang! Wow, that hurt. Okay, no, I'm kidding. I'm
No, I
I'm
love you,
just
Jamil.
joking.
You're
I'm just joking.
awesome.
I'm
I
just kidding.
appreciate you so much. Um, yeah, I mean, even just the idea of having ownership in an apartment inside another building makes me leery. Because then you still have to, you have all these different people and all these different rules. So then now you have a house and people own a bedroom and then have a shared bathroom, shared kitchen, shared living room or whatever.
No shared bathroom.
Yeah, the
they
way
have,
they
they have their
build
own
them.
bathroom.
There's no sharing.
Oh,
of
okay. I'm
those
sorry.
things.
I missed that part. I apologize.
But yeah,
But-
shared kitchen, shared living room, shared laundry, all of that is shared. Yeah.
So, I mean, just living in like a building with someone else causes a lot of trouble, but to own and be stuck in that, like permanent relationship type of thing with other people in a house, just, a single dwelling and you only have a room. I don't know, that part doesn't excite me. I just feel there could be so many issues. I mean, it's not a perfect model. I could see where it could be helpful for a lot of people, but I don't see it being something I would do individually owning a room in an apartment or in a house like that. It would make me leery. Just so many
Yeah.
different things.
Question
I-
for you, Pansy. What about going into like an LLC with multiple people where you're investing into something, but you're not physically living there, like a co-living situation?
I would invest in a co-living house, yes. Like the whole house, yes, we are all on it and going through that, like the pad split model and stuff like that. I think those are good ideas, honestly. I really do.
You just
I
don't
just-
want to live there.
Well,
Or-
no,
or
it's not
possibly
even that
even
I wouldn't
own
want to
just the
live
room.
there. Me personally, I like to travel, so I would be staying somewhere the most maybe 3 months. So
Right, so
something
actually
like
this would actually work for you. Like if you just
That-
went from co-living to co-living, you could,
Yeah.
hit 4 co-livings in a year and never really have to spend an enormous amount of money or leave your property unoccupied.
Yeah, no, that would totally work. No, I'm not saying that. I just don't see like just owning the individual room.
Sure.
Like I could see it possibly working like you had said, since I want to travel, but then now I have to worry about putting somebody in those rooms while I'm not there, and then is it going to be available when I do come back.
Sure. Yeah, that makes
You know,
sense.
that particular room. At least like if I did like a whole house thing, kind of pad split thing, and have them different places, I have more of an opportunity that a room would be available.
Absolutely.
How would you
yeah.
measure the value of a single room within a house? Just a fraction of what the whole house is worth?
I think it would be a fraction of what the house is worth plus some percentage. So you'd have to kind of like almost overvalue it a little bit and then divide it
It
by.
wouldn't be an overvaluation. It would be, it would actually completely change the valuation, Rahima,
Right,
because you've got
right.
a completely separate deeded bedroom and bath, right? But Pansy, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
your opinion,
Yeah.
and I appreciate it. If anybody else wants to hop in and give us their opinion
Appreciate
here,
you guys.
we appreciate you too. Thank you. Would love to hear from you guys. But yeah, I think that's a really solid point. And I think, however, from my perspective as an investor, I always look for the greatest ROI and safety, right? Like safety of the investment with good ROI. If you have relative safety and you've got a great return, safety in this, for instance, for me is the fact that you're on title. You're the deeded owner. You guys might be aware that I recently, over the last few years, had invested in syndications that went to zero, and those I learned very, very quickly that when I put my money in the hands of somebody else, their decision making, their management, their whole operation, that there's a huge opportunity for me to lose my entire investment. And so when I get involved in something like this, I feel like there's just a tremendous amount of greater security, right? And when I look at the return, let's just say a bedroom ends up selling anywhere between $80,000 to $100,000, and we've been routinely getting $1,000 plus a room per month. I see returns that I don't really get from a long-term rental situation, and so the ROI seems incredibly beneficial to me as well. So it just feels like a sound opportunity in terms of its financing or its financials, but of course there's going to be some added trepidation, it looks like, from specific investors or people.
Well, I think it's early, right? So anytime you're an early adopter of any concept, like there's going to be fear because you don't have a model that's proven to be successful on all fronts. So I think one of the things that we got to look at is financing. Another one we got to look at is insurance, right? So how do you have homeowners insurance over just a portion of the dwelling? What does that look like?
I think you would almost have to have the insurance done through the HOA. Is that
You
a
would.
possibility? Yeah. So
Yeah, no question.
Because we insure these like hotels, right? We don't insure them as single family dwellings. So it would be like the entire, so it would be part of your HOA due. They would be maintaining the kitchen, the laundry, the landscape, and the insurance, just like you would when you insure a building, right?
Right.
Same idea.
Right.
So we have all the answers. I mean, that's it. We know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We just have to do it.
We just got to make it happen.
Just got to do it. Yeah, that's it.
How
Awesome.
are your projects right now? How's
Yeah,
how's
what are you
co-living
guys
going for
excited
you?
about?
So we finished one. We started another. We are in the middle of another, and almost every day I get a call saying, "Hey, I heard you're doing this. Where do I sign? Like, how do I get started?" As people are getting more and more into the idea, or they're hearing about it, or they're seeing the returns, or they're hearing that like HUD-VASH is now offering to allow for their vouchers to be used in private rooms.
What's HUD-VASH?
So HUD is the Housing and Urban Development, and when the
So
housing
you're
and
probably familiar with Section 8.
but it's actually not Section 8. I was
it's-
misinformed.
That's the
Same
thing
kind of
people
government housing, or where the government helps
rebates of
Yes.
sorts.
where the government helps pay somebody's rent. And when they're saying we're going to now start issuing our vouchers for private rooms, then you understand that the government that moves slowly is already seeing that this is going to be something big.
Yeah.
They've also been doing that with senior living.
Right. Actually, Jack and I just had a conversation with somebody who's here in Arizona for a conference on assisted living, came to one of our houses and was, I have to say, a little blown away, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the word of the day was, wow. So
Wow.
I think that if you're going to do it and you're doing it right, then there's a tremendous opportunity there.
That's cool. What's been the biggest challenge so far with co-living?
Finding the right property in the right location, that can be challenging. So you have to make sure you make your first decision. The right decision has to be right.
Acquisition.
The acquisition has to be the first right decision. If you mess that up, you're gonna find yourself in some hot water.
Well, it's just like buying any investment property, right? Like you got to buy it right.
Right. So the cost of that, and then now that we're understanding more of what's available to us in terms of filling the houses, that challenge is slowly disappearing.
Well, you've also been very creative when it comes to solving that problem. So can you share a little bit about what you've been doing?
Sure. I mean, I advertise everywhere, and
it's actually answering Jennifer's question here. Rahima, what are your thoughts about meeting with town leaders, for the co-living model, to try to get the government's buy-in?
I would love that. Yeah, 100%. I think there was definitely strength in numbers when it comes to dealing with the government. And if we can show them real results and the type of work that we're doing, I think we'll have them on our side.
But you've also been going to businesses and handing out flyers like belly to belly.
Yeah, absolutely. So we hit the big ones like Amazon, all the different warehouses. We hit commercial, industrial, anything that's around the property. Churches, because churches understand that their parishioners are living in their cars on their parking lots. And we're right next to your church. So what do you want to do to help? And they're out there and they want to help.
And one of
That's
your
super
latest
interesting.
acquisitions, it was one of the reasons you were attracted was because of all the churches
There's
around there.
3 churches on that street.
That's amazing. What's on this flyer that you're passing out? What does it look like?
For it's a little different. So for businesses, it's a little different. And then for people, it's a little different. For the businesses, we're talking to them about how they can, perhaps even pay the rent for their employee to ensure that their employee's rent gets paid. Because sometimes it's like they've paid their money and not everybody's as careful with their money as they should be or could be. And so they've spent their money or it was taken out of their bank or something has happened and now they can't pay the rent. And again, they're going to be homeless.
I know what happened.
What happened?
Life happens all the time.
happened.
You get things just mysteriously get taken out of your bank. I mean, I remember the days where I had a bank account that had overdraft fees on it. And you just never knew what was going to happen. And then all of a sudden you get all these overdrafts and you're like, what is going on? It's just, this bill got taken out. This thing got, happened. Life will absolutely come and figure out ways to smack you around if, know. Yeah.
But then to say to the employer, hey, we can ensure that your employee has a safe place to live. It's walking distance to your distribution plant. How do you feel about just taking it out of their paycheck and making the rent payment for them?
That's interesting. Yeah.
Right.
Are companies actually doing that?
We're talking to UPS right now,
Yeah.
and they're thinking of doing it.
Would this be is this an established thing that companies already do sometimes around the country?
They haven't expressed to me that it's something that they've done, but they've definitely expressed to me that it's something they want to do.
That's sick.
They want to do it because they understand. And it's my brother's lesson when we were at an event one day and he was talking about how if you don't have shelter, then nothing else matters.
Yeah.
Because you can't do any. And those words really resonated with me.
Yeah.
And it was after that where I'm like, okay, all right, he's right. I get it. We got to do something here.
Yeah. So on the flyer to the businesses, it's just information like here's how you can ensure your employees have a roof over their head so they show up. But what about when you're passing it out to the people?
Oh, and that's a little different flyer. So it's got a QR code. It's really fancy. I don't know how to use QR codes, but it's got a QR code.
Use your camera, Rahima.
You've eaten at a restaurant since COVID. That's
I see
all
like
they
a
do
little
now.
yellow thing there, and I'm like, I don't know, what am I supposed to do? Never mind, just call me. But it's got a QR code. It tells them it's the private rooms, and we do something really cool because we put in your own heating and cooling. So right now I'm sitting in Jamil's house and it's probably 60 degrees in
It
here.
feels amazing,
I'm
by the way.
freezing.
Yeah.
I'm very
It's-
happy.
I'm like an
It's-
ice cube. Like
It's whether I'm there or not there, it's 69.
I feel like I'm shivering.
man.
I'm dying. I'm so cold.
I'm happy. Do you like my jacket?
No, I'll survive. But we allow for every room to have its own heating and cooling, which keeps the bills down. Because even at the peak of summer, Jamil's 6-bedroom house, his co-living house, had a $483 bill.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
That's amazing.
So
you
it has
know,
a QR code and then pictures
and then
people
it's
on
got
that.
pictures of what the property has, what it offers, all the utilities, the Wi-Fi, everything. My phone number is plastered across the valley right now.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
think we may need to get you an alternate phone number that doesn't,
Right now I'm okay with it, but eventually I think I may have to get a new phone. But yes, so call me because I want to talk to you and see which house is the best for you and is this a good model for you. Today we also had a conversation with homeless female veterans, and they want a house for themselves. So they want the female veterans need their own space. So they're asking us that, could you please develop a new house that are just, so right now the government is saying, this is so amazing. So you could build them anywhere. And how long would it take you? And we're like, it takes 8 weeks. Okay. So we could just give you a list of where we need them and you would build them. Yes, we could do that.
Nice.
as long as they're not in an HOA.
Yeah.
As
That's
long
true,
as
huh?
they're not- yeah. So it's growing and it's growing fast.
Cool.
Jack, as
Very
a
cool.
buyer right now and an investor, aside from the HOA piece, what's most exciting to you right now? We do know that the real estate market is still facing tremendous lack of inventory. That's a real thing. We're in an election cycle right now, so things are a little bit goofy, but that'll fix itself here.
In like 32 days.
Yeah, in a matter of no time. But what are you most excited about right now in the scope of investment opportunities and types of deals?
Well, it just so happens it's co-living. It's just it's an amazing thing. And I think with some of the conversations that Rahima's had with various groups, it just confirms that it's a sweet spot right now. It really is.
I think we're coming into the affordable housing boom. I think that the reality is that there's, in real estate, we have sub-markets within real estate, and certain sub-markets have and experience some, characteristics of boom characteristics, right? And I think that's what's happening in affordability. We see that affordability has gone, out the window, and rents are not depressing, regardless of what we saw happen with interest rates spiking to 8%. Rents didn't go down anywhere. In fact, the exact opposite happened. Rents continued to creep up because home ownership became less and less and less desirable. And so landlords were continuing to increase rent. And it just gets to a point now where you've got the average American spending 50% of their paycheck on housing. 50%. You make $5,000 a month, 2,500 of that goes to where you live.
And that's
now
rent.
You're going to take, and that's just rent.
That's not even a mortgage. That's rent.
That's
and
no
so
saving for a down payment.
basically you're paying that for until you die.
It's out of this world. It's completely out of this world. And when, one of the things that I can say that, as real estate investors, we have a responsibility because part of what we do is make housing more expensive. Right? We do. I've wholesaled over 7,000 properties in my career. That means I've made 7,000 houses more expensive. Right? I have to live with that. And I have to understand that was how I fed myself and fed my family and how I became, a wealthy person. But on the other side of that, what does it look like? How can somebody now, especially in my position, be a part of the solution? How can I contribute to what is going to, and investors are investors. We're always going to be looking for a return. we're going to be looking for an opportunity to gain, right? But how do you gain and do it in the socially responsible way? And I agree, Jack. I think the most exciting thing for me in the next decade, at least, will be affordable housing and being a part of that, becoming a more mainstay in the world of, in the world of rentals. Because Rahima and I, our parents lived in a co-living house in Europe when they had her. Rahima was born in a co-living home.
I was born in a hospital.
Yeah, but
but I went home to a co-living. Yes, my
you got
parents
taken home into a co-living property.
my parents rented a room and they shared a bathroom with 4 other rooms. And that's where I lived for the first 2 years of my life.
Well, and it's normal in a lot of other countries still today.
Yes.
Very, very interesting. And I'm excited to see the developments. I'm excited to see what comes around the corner on this. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think it's the most right now in the scope of real estate investing. I mean, from looking at strategies, if I'm somebody who wants to get involved in real estate and I have a little bit of capital, not a ton, but a little bit of capital, and I want to build wealth for myself or build rental income for myself that's going to help me retire. Well, today I got a wire in my account for $4,900 and change. My sister sent me a screenshot today of the wire, right? She said, "Hey, just so you know, you got paid today," right? And it was $4,900 and change. Yesterday, I paid the mortgage on that property, and it was $2,300, right? And guess how much money I have in that property? Zero. I have zero of my dollars left in that property. I was able to refi and get my cash out. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen on every deal. Of course, that's not. And I was lucky because I bought it in a different time. But even if I had $100,000 in that house, let's just say I had $100,000 in that house. If I had $100,000 in that house and I was able to cash flow $2,500 a month on that $100,000 in that house, that to me, I don't have investments that do that well. I don't have anything that does that well.
Plus the benefit of doing the depreciation on your taxes, plus the benefit of the appreciation on the property.
And you improve the neighborhood.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, this is the way to do it, guys.
Well, in affordability, there are so many things that the news isn't talking about, right? Like just since we've been sitting here, I got a text from my friend at St. Vincent de Paul, and she said, believe it or not, this time of year, we're never low on non-perishable foods, but we're like out. Do you know anybody that can do a food drive? Like that doesn't happen over there because they are so well known in the community and they've got so many partnerships with large grocery stores and things like that. So that's a real problem.
Yeah.
We
Daniel,
got a pad
if you
splitter.
can, click on that link. We got what?
A pad splitter in the chat, like somebody who's living in one. Daniel.
Yeah, we got somebody living in a co-living right now. Daniel Aldana said, "I'm currently in a pad split right now as a tenant, and I understand the benefits from it firsthand." Daniel, if you have the ability to hop on, we'd love to hear from you and get your experience of what it feels like, what it looks like, what it is. Incredible. And see, I mean, we've got people in the chat right now that are benefiting from this. And he didn't come on into the chat and say, "I'm in a pad split right now and I can't wait to, leave." He's like, "I'm benefiting from it firsthand," which is incredible. So it would be great to hear from you, Daniel. If not possible, all good. But send me an email or a DM on Instagram if you could. I'd like to interview you and talk to you more in the future, bro. But yeah, I think this is where I think the real estate investment market is headed. It's headed towards more collaborative, more cooperative type of investment strategies. I think that we are definitely in a turning point. The reality is that even in luxury, the way that I live over there, I mean, let's be honest. I'm a single guy in 5,500 square feet. I could have How many people living in that house?
Well, I don't know. Right now, there's 6 of us and some animals.
I
I mean, is that a
but
challenge?
truly,
Are you challenging me
no,
to
but
renovate
like,
your home
could
into
I not?
a communal
Could I
living?
not get $2,000 a room? Could I not get $2,000 a room for every additional extra room that I have in that house? And yeah, of course, I live in my palace over there in the 1,200 square foot master. But could I not get an additional $2,000 per room, and also, not be lonely? I got company now. Here he is. Daniel's here. Let's go. Let's hear from him. Wow, look at the shoulders on that guy, dude. Is there a gym in that house? What are you doing?
A lot of push-ups. A
I
lot
love
of
the
push-ups.
push-ups. I love
Awesome.
that.
Good to see you,
It looks
dude.
like he could bench press you, Jamil.
Daniel,
I'm sure he does.
Where do you live, Daniel?
I currently live in Orlando.
Oh, cool.
As a matter of fact, if you're familiar with Orlando, I'm on the southeast side.
Okay.
Hmm.
Thanks for
So what's
joining
your
us.
experience
And
like
you
in
like
the
living in communal living?
co-living home? Sorry, go ahead. Rahima, I didn't mean to talk over you. Go ahead.
No, please. I think we had the same question.
Well, it's been a very nice experience for the most part. My main concern was location first and foremost, and then also tenants. From a tenant perspective, the concerns that I had was, what are my roommates going to be like? Are they going to be nice? Are they going to be dirty and things like that? And depending on if it's a platform like PadSplit or Furnish Finder that's going to be hosting it, you can have hosts that are on multiple platforms and they're just trying to get whatever type of tenant they can in to pay for their payments if they sub to it or do a mortgage payment on it. But then you got some other hosts that are like, okay, we'll do a co-living situation, but we're catering towards a specific type of, say,
Niche.
an executive client, exactly, niche. And so I'll admit I'm a little bit more on the landlord or host of a pad split owner side of the argument, only because I can see where you can maximize your profit being a pad split host, renting out by the bedroom instead of renting it out to a family. And the reason why I say that is because I literally moved up here to Orlando to start up my wholesale journey being a real estate investor with a wholesaler up here in Orlando. And so I figured, why not better way to be in the trenches by not joining a wholesale team, but also be a tenant, understand firsthand the concerns and issues that tenants might encounter, and see when I start owning my own properties, building my portfolio, how do I want to be a host
I
of those
love this
properties?
guy. I love this
Well,
guy.
we've been
Daniel, good
talking about
stuff.
we want to do undercover boss pad split style, but Bobby refuses to live with me and Jamil in a pad split.
I'll live with
I
you
say
guys.
it's worth it.
Filming you 24/7 is a different question.
He can go on vacation with us. He
That's
just doesn't want to have
great.
to work.
Oh, that's cute.
I
He
can
doesn't
So
say
I
wanna-
love
he's
that.
like,
I love that you're
nah.
having
He's like,
fun.
I'll kick it with you guys, but yeah, I'm not holding the rock. You guys figure that part out yourself. But no, it's so Daniel, has it been pretty pleasant for you? Or are the people that you're around, do they exceed your expectations? Are they clean, dirty? Is it nice? Are you becoming friends with them? Tell me about the social aspect of it.
No, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure if you can hear it, but one of my roommates is actually washing the dishes right now, and I'm in the living room. But it's honestly the roommates that I have right now, and this pad split is really nice. And this property in particular that I'm on, it's one of the hosts actually has it listed on Furnish Finder and also on Pad Split. And it's kind of weird because I was expecting maybe a 3-bedroom situation, and I would see the other roommate on Pad Split. From the Pad Split app itself, it does tell you, hey, if you are approved to be a tenant in this property, here's your other roommate. And so my other roommate, his name is Floyd, really great guy. As a matter of fact, him and I are getting along. We cook dinner for each other on occasion, ever since I moved up here,
Look at
because we
that, dude.
understand that we're trying to work towards a better situation for our lives. But the Furnish Finder, the 3rd bedroom that's in this home, is actually listed on Furnish Finder as well, and that got rented out by a nurse who's actually in college. She's doing I guess you could say, an internship at a nearby hospital, and we don't see her nowadays because she's working the overnight shifts. But when I did get to meet her, I kid you not, I was supposed to go to bed at midnight because the wholesale team, I'm supposed to be at their office at 9. We stayed up till probably from midnight to 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, having a conversation, getting to know each other, being social. And we're even making plans. So it's like, yeah, if you're not busy, like she's coming at me saying, Daniel, if you're not busy, I would love for you to meet my boyfriend. He might be in town. Let's go to Disney Springs nearby. And I'm thinking like, oh my God, I got the best freaking roommates ever. We're making dinner with each other. We're over here making plans to hang out with each other if possible. And on top of that, I'm getting to know the area as well. And I'm going to be completely straightforward with this. Depending on the location where the co-living spot is at, it can really make it or break it for a tenant. There are some areas around to where a tenant might have questions about the property, but luckily for me, especially since I brought a vehicle over here to this pad split, none of those concerns are with me. I'm in a nice area. Come to find out, the wholesale I'm working with, he lives like 2 minutes away from where I'm at when we discussed our address. So the location, very nice. The vehicle that I mentioned earlier, pad split, I've heard different stories, but from my experience at least, let's say if a tenant does have a vehicle they need to bring with them, pad split doesn't charge for that extra vehicle, which is nice. But they can only bring the vehicle on the property if there's space for it. Now, depending on the location of pad split, you can park on the street, you can park in the backyard. Maybe there's even a garage that you can park in front of if the host didn't convert the garage into multiple bedrooms. I got lucky because the location I'm at right now, it's kind of like a cottage type feel. It was originally a 2-1, and I saw that he converted the living space, dining space into a smaller bedroom, and that was where the third bedroom came in. And so, honestly, that's actually the bigger bedroom than the original two. And there's like a shed in the back with a covered walkway, but then there's plenty of backyards where honestly it could fit maybe 4 or 5 cars. And I drive, I'm not trying to flex, I'm trying to give you an idea. I do drive a BMW X5. It's a pretty beefy SUV. And there's like an adequate space for me to park maybe 5, 6 of those in the backyard and maybe occupy the driveway. One concern I did have living with this location though is the neighbor. In a pad split, not all of the properties are pad splits, not all of them are going to be co-living. So in this particular case, we have a neighbor that's right next door. In the nicest term possible, she's a Karen. I kid you not.
I
Moving
love this
day.
guy. Daniel, you're
Moving.
awesome.
Thank you so much. Moving day. There's a shed that's on her property line, and I saw a fence, and I'm like, you know what? Let me park my car there after I move some of the stuff. I'm parking it there temporarily because I'm unpacking some things. It was a Sunday around 4:30. I was trying to go within the move-in time because past split, depending on the property, it's up to the host of like, oh, you got to move in with this time frame, and my time frame was 9 to 6, so I was able to get in at 4, unpacking my things. Unpack my things, park my car next to the shed. Mind you, it's on our side of the property line because I see a fence line and you would think, okay, that's a property line. Not even 5 minutes later, I'm like, all right, maybe it's my headphones. Let me adjust it. Okay, what's going on? Going over to the door. I open it. I'm like, hi, sure if he has anything. Trying to be friendly. Your car is on my property line. I'm sorry, who are you? And come to find out, next door neighbor. Um, that was fun. Complete Karen. I'm pretty sure you can get the rest of that conversation of how it went.
I'm sure.
Can I,
And
can I ask you, Daniel, how much do you pay for rent?
Currently 800 for my room, and I actually talked with my other roommates about this. The original 2 bedrooms, which one of them I'm staying in, is 800, and the other bedroom is about the same size as mine, so that's about 800 as well. I've been told by the girl that's living in the third bedroom, because her space is a little bit bigger, since that was the living room and dining room that ended up getting split up. The host did end up making the third bedroom bigger, and apparently, according to her, he charged 900 on Furnish Finder. Now I'm not sure if that's
Okay,
the
so
same for
do you have a bathroom? Do you have your own bathroom?
one.
You have one bathroom.
For the whole
the
house, for
three of you
3
share one
people.
bathroom. So
We all
eight
share one
hundred
bathroom.
dollars. And do you guys have like individual heating, cooling, anything like that, or do y'all have to live in the same temperature?
Same temperature. As a matter of
Okay.
fact, the thermostat
Daniel, would
was
you
set
pay
to 25.
1,000? Would you pay 1,000 if you had your own bathroom and your own heating and cooling apparatus?
Absolutely, I
Yeah.
would, and it's kind of hard finding that, at least here in the Orlando area.
Yep. Yep.
I think you guys are expanding to Orlando.
Daniel,
You're first on Title Talk.
last question for you before we let you go here. By the way, thank you so much for coming on and sharing the information that you shared, dude. You, by the way, if you want, you can share your Instagram handle because there's a bunch of ladies in the chat that are like, "What's his number?"
A lot of them are asking how many push-ups you do.
They want to see you flex.
Oh God, I'm actually been out of the gym for a hot minute since the whole move, but I will at least give you an idea. On average, I would say about 50 tops.
50 push-ups a day?
And you get to look like that?
One go.
My goodness, I got to start doing some push-ups. I guess. Daniel, would you invest in owning your own room? Now, if that room had its own bathroom and its own heating and cooling, but you still had shared kitchen and shared laundry, shared front yard, shared backyard, would you buy a unit like that? Would you feel comfortable owning that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If my room had its own bathroom and it costs a little bit more, like instead of paying 800, I would just pay an extra 200 a month to have my own bathroom. Absolutely.
Got it.
And as a wholesaler, have you considered maybe wholesaling the other rooms on Pad Split and finding your own roommates?
So that's how they come across that one time.
I love that. Did you just come up with that?
Yes.
Oh, I love it. Look at that. She
He looks like a resourceful guy.
Yeah,
I'm just putting it out
that's
there.
Yeah, he could go. He can talk to the owner and say, "Hey, listen, if you rent me the other 3, I'll give it to you for 700."
That's exactly
and then
right.
Daniel goes and puts them on Furnish Finder or whatever for 8, and now he's figures out a way to get his rent
Let's
down.
do that.
He gets,
And then
he gets
cash
his
flow the
rent down
rest.
to 4.
Exactly.
I mean
Beautiful.
that's the way that the mind works. Daniel, brother, thank you for coming on and saying all you did today. Really appreciate the perspective. Reach out to me, by the way, because you're a wholesaler in Orlando. Let me help you. Let me connect the dots for you with a lot of people so that you can do more deals. I know a little thing or two about wholesaling, so let me be a resource for you as a thank you for coming in and blessing us with your information today.
Absolutely. And if I may, I would love to do a little shameless plug.
Please
Since
do.
I got the opportunity to be on the show with you, I actually want to share the news. I actually locked up my first wholesale deal today.
Hey!
Fantastic.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Congratulations, man. That
amazing.
got to feel really good.
Yes, it definitely did. Just a quick story, maybe 15 seconds. The wholesale team I'm on,
Please share it.
closer. So all I'm doing is that the leads I'm touching, they're already warm. There's various sources of leads coming through from the team I'm on, but all my job is to touch base with the leads, try to get a feel for them, and then I'm gonna present an offer to them and close them on that purchase agreement. This one in particular, it should have been, just happened the same day, but the seller did want the attorney involved. It was up in Ohio. He wanted an attorney involved. Apparently, the attorney was a family friend. And after some communication through email with the attorney, the seller just signed the purchase agreement today.
So you're a virtual wholesaler.
Yes, ma'am.
That's awesome.
Good for you. Proud
Good
of you.
for you.
Keep it going.
I think before the day ends, you might wholesale that other extra room in that house too.
Funny enough, I also have my real estate license, and I did go on the MLS to figure out the details of this property. Very, very tempted to just call the owner and be like, "Would you accept terms?"
There we go. There we go, my man, brother. What a great conversation. Much love. Reach out. Let's connect and do some deals together.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. And thank you for having me on the show. I greatly do.
Of course.
Congratulations, Daniel.
Congratulations, sweetheart.
Wow.
That was
Guys,
awesome.
How cool was that, right? Like,
Love that
my
guy.
goodness. So Dena, I know we're at the end of our time here, and I just wanted to say it's been an incredible run with us, guys. You will see Dena and I do more content together. We may come back with another show. It might be Title Talk. It might be something else. It could be, we might do a podcast where we all wear cat
Costumes?
outfits like Rahima and
Count me in for costumes.
There we
You
go.
know, I'm a fan.
Yeah, if I dress up like a lion, you dress up like a tiger, Rahima dresses up like you dress up like a leopard, Rahima dresses up like a lion, Jackson, what's your favorite cat, Jack?
Favorite what?
Your favorite cat?
Favorite cat.
He's a jaguar. Look at him.
Yeah, how about
He's a
that?
jaguar.
He'll be a puma.
Yeah.
He's pretty smooth.
A puma. Yeah, it would be like 4 pussies and a mic. I'm just kidding.
Terrible. Terrible. All right. Thank you.
With that
Love
said,
you.
We love
love
you.
you guys. Title
We can't wait
Talk.
to see what's next, guys. We've had a ton of fun on Title Talk, and we're going to keep having fun and keep your feedback flowing because we love it. And thank you guys so much for being here today.
Thank you guys.
Thank
It's
you.
been fun.
And before we leave, guys, if you have any need for title services, email titletalk@fnf.com. titletalk@fnf.com. Fidelity Title has been one of the greatest partners I've ever had and will ever have and will continue to have. Guys, you have to work with Fidelity in anything that you do. They are the best in terms of customer service, in terms of security, support, all of the things. Make sure you reach out to a local Fidelity office. But before you do that, reach out to Dena at titletalk@fnf.com so she can help curate your experience. It's been a pleasure, Dena. I love you so much.
Love you
Rahima, thank
too.
you so much. Jack, thank you for joining us. And folks, thank you guys for tuning in. We're out.